Hawk and Dove number 5, written by Sterling Gates and Rob Liefeld, art by Rob Liefeld and Maret Michaels. We left off last issue with Swan seemingly coming back from the dead and taking Dead Man's prisoner, and Condor breaking out of his cell and getting away, and Dove swearing vengeance for her lover. So this issue picks up with them just having Dead Man in a bottle that's contained with some sort of gem or something like that. Regardless, they use his power in order to open a doorway to the magic world. And Condor's like, all right, so we're going to be using them to find all the other war people. And then soon, once we're inside, nothing's going to stop me. And Swan's like, you mean us, baby? Right? Of course not meaning that. Then we get this whole, backstory from Hawk and Dove, basically saying exactly their entire history. Hawk had a brother, the original Dove. He died, and at that point, new Dove came in. She never had a choice. They defeated someone named Kestrel, which I guess was another version of Hawk, like Condor is, whatever. And they're chasing after someone so that they can find Boston, because Boston is the love of her life. They called up Madame Xanadu, who is part of the magic stuff with Boston Brand, aka Deadman, and she advised that in order to find Boston, they had to track down a demon named Gob, who I guess was just running around DC. Whatever. So they track down this demon. They get a grip on him. He spits some sort of acid or something at Dove's eyes, but Hawk gets a handle on him, threatens him, doesn't do anything, but then Dove comes up and, having dealt with the acid, I guess, also threatens Gob, and he's like, okay, now I'm willing to talk, so you'll need to find the entrance to the War Realm, and then I guess he tells them where that is. Dove is carrying Hawk back over to where it is, and he's like, all right, put me down, we gotta talk. So then apparently he wants to talk to her like person to person instead of superhero to superhero, so they change out of their superhero outfits. And I don't think Rob Liefeld has ever seen how a t-shirt fits on a woman before, because it doesn't sculpt itself to every curve that well. But regardless, basically it's just a 2 to 3 page conversation of, hey, so Dead Man being around us kind of put us at risk. Are you sure that we should be saving him because he's kind of bad for us, more in particularly you? And Dove is like, I love him. And she kicks stuff while saying this, and nobody seems to bat an eye. And he's like, all right, you're kind of being violent for the Avatar of Peace. Do you think maybe he's messing with that? And he's like, I love him. So Hawk's not getting anywhere. He's like, all right, fine, whatever. So they go to a place in D.C. where it's a movie theater, and they hop into an elevator, and they immediately start feeling like, whoa, all right, I think we've gone to the entrance to the War Realm, maybe. It's a bit unclear whether or not they made it through the entrance. All I know is that when the door opens up, there is an actual humanoid, four-eyed condor standing there. Just this angry-looking bird man. And they just automatically know, like, oh, that's Condor, because down at his feet are Dead Man, who we can see, and Swan, who looks pretty dead. So Hawk comes up, is immediately batted away, and then Dove comes up, and Condor's like, I've seen the War Circle, Dove, and you aren't mentioned at all in it. So you're something beyond the War Circle. You're something greater. I'm going to look forward to absorbing you. And Hawk's like, now I can fight you for whatever reason. So he punches him in the face. And it's great because he's like, ha, that fledgling thinks it can harm me. I have more power. And then Hawk throws a punch, and he just goes, that hurt. And then Dove throws a few punches, but Condor manages to get a grip on her. He's like dangling her over the city, which for some reason they see as a threat, despite the fact that we've actively in this issue seen Dove flying. So I don't know what the problem is of being over the city, but regardless, she's trying to like goad him into like doing something. So he's like, oh, you've never tasted my power. You have no idea how powerful I am. I could beat you in an instant. And he's like, psh, yeah, right. And he slashes her stomach, which then does that same thing that happened 2 issues ago, where this weird glowing light comes out and it just starts shooting holes through Condor. And he's like, oh no, mercy, please. And she's like, yeah, I'm the avatar of peace, but you have no idea the war, the battle that's been raging inside me. That's why I'm so powerful. Because I'm always angry. More or less, that's what it says. So anyway, Condor like disintegrates, and Deadman and Hawk are like, okay, all right, so that happened. She lands, and she's like, Deadman, I can't see you anymore. Does that mean you're back to normal? And he's like, yeah, babe, totally. But I am kind of bad news for you, and we shouldn't be seeing each other anymore, so goodbye. And Dove is like, what? But I did all this stuff. Oh, that sucks. And Hawk is like, I understand why he did it, but I understand that doesn't mean we have to like it. And then the issue just ends. Like, it's not even a big, like, send-off thing. It's just a tiny little panel of, like, why? Are we just done with that now? Okay, the Condor thing's just done. Like, okay, I guess. Well, that didn't even feel like I mean, I guess they're showing, like, Dove is able to fight her own battles, but was that really the thing that we've been through 5 issues for? Of just slash her stomach and then you lose? I didn't see anything of, like, why he's so powerful. Now, this didn't feel like an ending at all. And I hope it's not, but I feel like it is. And then it all boils down to guy troubles. Like, that's not showing that she's strong and able to take care of herself. No. Bad writers. Overall, this is a 3.5. I'm not a fan. And the art is not great either. The Condor's final form does not look menacing. It's a giant bird man, who I don't even get the proper scale of. He just feels like a normal-sized bird man. So no, 3.5. Let's see what happens next month.